Hey there, climbers of the tower. Welcome to this channel. Today I have an exciting video for you, as we are going to dive into the top 5 things we absolutely need to see in Season 2 of Tower of God for it to be a success. From epic battles to intriguing character developments, we want it all. So buckle up and get ready to reach the stars together as we explore what could make Season 2 of Tower of God even more amazing than the first one. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more Tower of God content. Now, let's get started. First of all, these things are in no particular order, they are just the top 5 things I want to see in the Season 2 of Tower of God. Otherwise, the season probably won't be as good as the first one. So, let's get right into the first thing. The tower. The tower is a mysterious thing. Even after the first 78 chapters or the first 13 episodes of the anime, we don't really know too much about it. So there are a few factors that I want to learn more about in the season 2 of the anime. First of all are the fauna and the flora. Fauna obviously meaning everything animal related. We had some anime controller or like monster creator, monster breeder in the first season. We had 2 of them. I think their names were the little girl Narae and then also the sheep person and Lupu Ren. And those 2 were interesting in itself, but we didn't see that many creatures beside them. We had the entire thing in the last mission that Bam and his friends went through, but those were all of the animals we saw, and the bull as well, but it was also part of that mission. I would like to see more of the monsters that live in this tower and how strong they are compared to maybe even rankers and other people just going through the tower floors. If these monsters are not really that much of a threat to these rankers and other people, then why is the tower so difficult to climb? I think that the monsters are going to play a big role in the future, but I am not sure if they will be introduced here in Season 2 or maybe later down the line. And then the flora. Flora is everything related to plants and wildlife and these other things. I would like to see more about these things as well, because they increase the scope of the world. Obviously, my first idea is the classic Yggdrasil from Norse mythology, but there can also be other things in the flora as well. We can have important flowers, important vegetables, or other things. All these things count in there and also come together with the point of that I would maybe like to see some good-looking food in the anime or in the webtoon, because food is just everybody likes to eat, so maybe including them could be fun. And both of these things come combined in the package of I want to see more floors. Because in the first season, we only got to see, well, the first floor with Bam's irregular mission when he was facing Head-On and the eel, and then the second floor, which was the floor of tests. So in this second season, I would like to see more than just 2 floors, and we don't even know how things are going to progress now after Bam is actually there unconscious and Faryun asked him to join him in some sort of group. We don't really know how things are going to progress there, but I hope we will get more than just 2 floors in this new season. Then my next point are the tower mysteries. Tower mysteries, for example, are the irregulars. Irregulars are people that didn't come into the tower because Head-On or somebody else chose them, but because they themselves forced themselves into it or somehow found themselves getting into the tower. The people I only know that are irregulars right now are Bam, Rachel, Enryu, I think was his name, and then Ureg Magino, and maybe someone else as well, I'm not sure. I think those are the ones I can name on the top of my head. But there are many more out there, and I wonder what really makes them so dangerous. Is it that the outside world, that we also don't know so much about, is even more dangerous than the inside of the tower, and that's why the irregulars are so much more powerful? Or does an irregular, when they enter the tower, get special abilities from the god in Tower of God's name or something? I'm not really sure how these Tower of God characters work. I'm not sure how the irregulars get their powers, but it would be interesting to see at least a snippet of how these irregulars are like created, or how it's chosen that they get to go into the tower. I know it says that they themselves decide to go there or somehow end up there, but how does this actually work? Irregulars are a big mystery, and I would like to have some answers at least of that in Season 2. And then organizations and rules. Organizations, I'm gonna expand this a bit and also include the great families in that, together with the Jahad kingdom and everything. I would like to learn a bit more about the names of these families and what their specialties are, because The Kun family seems to be like a family of schemers to me. But I'm not sure if that's really their thing or if they are like a merchant family, because the Kun we followed, Aguero Agnes, also seem to have a lot of items, so maybe they have some sort of big storage because they are a merchant family. I'm not sure what exactly their whole thing is. I will learn more about Anak's family, even though like the lizard family would be interesting. That also includes more races. I would like to see if there are other things, because not everybody here is a human, but we haven't really learned their names, and I'm not sure if that's even going to be a focus. And there's also things like the group that Yuri is a part of. I think their name was Wolhike Song. And maybe there are other groups that will be introduced in Season 2 as well, but as of right now, we only really know the Great Families, the Jihad like family, and then also Yuri's group. But Yuri is also a member of the Jihad family, and not technically, she also should be a member of part of the Great Family because she is a princess. But then I wonder if she's a part of the Wolhike Song. Isn't that like a group that's opposing the Great Families and the king and everything? I thought they were led by a irregular, but maybe that's some sort of misunderstanding that will also be cleared up in Season 2. Now to the second point, the characters. Tower of God has many interesting characters, but maybe too many. Because in Season 1 I was a bit overwhelmed by the amount of characters I was in. We only were in a small part of the world and we already had over 50 named characters, I guess. And it's hard to really get attached to someone if like they're not the focus. There's obviously the main characters and then there are just too many side characters. I want to focus on a smaller group to get attached to them. So I hope that Kun's group, where he is right now, Kun with Rachel, Rak, and the other people who went up with, so like Hats and Anak and Dorsey, I hope that there's a focus on them. But also because Bum is the main character, I assume we're going to spend most of the time on him and whatever he went through after he joined Hwaryun and then went up the tower by himself, I assume. We're just gonna see that in the upcoming chapters, I guess. Another thing that I'm not even sure if I can call them characters are the 13-month series. Those are technically weapons, but we saw that the Black March that was used by Bum also had some sort of personification that he somehow called out of the weapon. Now I wonder if that was a special thing from the Black March, or if all of these weapons have this ability. Then can you call the 13-month series characters? Because they are in itself weapons, but weapons are an interesting thing of the entire world as well. How strong can weapons be? Are there other ego weapons besides the 13-month series? To explain, ego weapons are weapons that have a personality, like we saw with the Black March. I'm not even sure if the other 13-month have an ego, but maybe they have, and I wonder if there are weapons that can rival the 13-month, but the 13-month are just special because they belong to the Great Families or to Jihad. I'm not sure what's there, but they are also something that has been teased in the first season, because we have seen 2 of the 13-month series yet, the Black March and the Green April, and I want to see more of them in Season 2, because they are already a big part of the world building, and seeing more of them would be something that would be an instant hype moment. And also the question, what even is the 13th month? We all know what the 12 months are, but then there's a 13th month. I have no idea what that one is. I don't know if it will be revealed in Season 2 or if it will be a big secret for a longer time. But at least something like a bit of information about the 13-month series would be great for Season 2 to make the world building even more extensive. Point 3. Staying true to the source. Now, if you are an anime-only watcher, you might not even notice this difference. I was an anime-only for a long time as well, but then I read the first season of the Webtoon and I learned a few of the changes that happened. First of all, I don't even understand why anime changed things from the original story, because it doesn't make any sense, unless the author said I would like to change that. For example, if you watch the anime of Tower of God, there were many scenes of Rak eating chocolate bars that he was given by Kun, and Rachel was also seen eating chocolate bars, and then there was this whole eating competition between Rak and Ghost, and all of these things are technically non-existent in the Webtoon, because Rak only ate a few bananas. He wasn't even that much of a glutton in the Webtoon. That's just not him, but the anime made him seem like a glutton and also gave Ghost this weird comedic moment, even though Ghost is still this mysterious character we know next to nothing about. I have no idea why they did this. Maybe it was to hide that one penis joke that Rock did about Kun, but I have no idea why anybody would do this. Then we also had an entire anime original episode showing Rachel's inner thoughts. That was the last episode of the anime before we got to see Bam on the ground. But then I wonder, why was it short? I mean, some of these things made sense for Rachel's inner monologue to be heard, but then again, I had a few Webtoon readers tell me that this somehow messes up the story in the future. So please, people from Webtoon, try to somehow control the anime company, the anime studio, to make it very, very honest and truthful to the Webtoon. And then again, we also really need to have a lot of episodes in the season 2 of the anime, because the Webtoon season 2 is really, really long. To be more precise for you guys, the Webtoon season 2 is 4 times longer than season 1. And if they want to cram that into a 13 episode anime, it's just going to be garbage. Complete garbage. Even if they want to cram it into a 24 episode anime, it will be trash. So unless it's like a 50 episode anime or a 2 core of each 24 episodes, it's not going to be good. That's my biggest worry about the anime. And as I'm going to read the webtoon, maybe I'm not even going to watch it unless it's actually going to be good. So try your best with that. Point 4. SHINSU. SHINSU is still a mystery in everything. I just want more facts and explanations about it. SHINSU is basically the magic system of Tower of God, but we don't know anything about it. There was the whole thing about the bomb and 2 other things that were like what's factoring into the SHINSU and how to control it, like the amounts, the way you control it, these spheres that you have, and all these other things. But in the end, we don't really know anything about it, what it's capable of. Because even right now, I'm not sure if it was because Bam is an irregular, but he was already able to stop time or stop a creature in its place, and he's still a beginner in SHINSU. Is that something strong people are all capable of, and you need like some sort of defensive SHINSU to make sure that people don't just stop you in your place? I would like to learn more about SHINSU. It's an interesting topic because magic systems are always nice to see. That's also like One Piece after its time skip had a lot of introductions for Haki. So kind of similar after the first season of One Piece, if you want to call it that, the pre-time skip era. And now the first season of Tower of God. I would like for it to have more information about SHINSU so that I can learn more about how it's used, how it works, and how strong characters that mainly use SHINSU really are. Because I think there was this thing that all characters use SHINSU, but it's just that the wave controllers rely on it mainly, and other people maybe use it to buff themselves or debuff the enemy, these kind of things. But that's just my assumptions, and I wonder if Zero is actually going to tell us these things in the future season of Tower of God. Now, the 5th thing, the classes. How are classes exactly determined? We all saw the moment where Rock became a spear bearer instead of a fisherman, and Rock himself was also confused. I wonder how these things were actually decided. For wave controllers, you could think and maybe just assume that it's because these people have the most talent in controlling SHINSU. Then light bearers make sense for people who have some strategizing abilities or talents. Scouts also somehow fit in, but then I'm wondering between spear bearers and fishermen, how exactly is it decided? Is it just randomized? Was it the teachers that decided who gets into what position? Or was it some sort of god decision that we didn't even see who made it? Was it Ivanka? Or was it maybe Han Sung-yu? I'm not sure who made it, but I would like to learn more about classes, especially because we know that there are special classes as well. There was this character called Evan. He was the guide for Yuri, and being a guide is a special class. But what exactly are special classes? Are they like irregulars? Well, I don't think that special classes are the same thing as irregulars, but they probably are very rare as well. And I wonder how it gets determined that you are a special class compared to a normal class. What are the special classes? Because we have Fisherman, Spearbearer, Lightbearer, Scouts, and Wave Controller, and then the only special class we learned so far is a Guide. But are there other special classes? These things need to be said just because the classes have been somewhat of a big role in the first season, and if they don't even get mentioned in the second season, I just feel like it's a dropped thing that doesn't get as much focus. And with the establishment of classes, I just don't want them to disappear because they were an interesting topic and made it a bit more gamified, and personally I like it. So I just hope there's more about that. That also includes us learning more about the lore about classes. I think it was already stated a bit, or maybe it's a spoiler I heard, that the great families that first came into the tower or something are themed around the classes. So maybe the classes were made around them, so that one member of the great families was a fisherman and so on. And that's also why we have special classes, because the great families are special. And maybe only some selected people get these special classes. It could be a thing of nepotism, where only the members, the children of the great families get these things. But I don't want to put all of my eggs into that basket, I just want to learn more about the classes. But those are my top 5 what I want to see in the Tower of God Season 2. And what do you want to see? Please tell me in the comments down below. I stream on every Thursday with Tower of God content. I'm currently having blind reactions to all of Tower of God. Currently I'm at the start of Season 2. With every chapter there will be discussions and theories and just my speculations of what will happen, because obviously the webtoon is already quite far ahead compared to what I'm reading. And overall we just want to have a good time in the stream. That's all for me today. I would love to see you in a live stream or in other videos I do, but all that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro out. Bye!